beautiful people. Today we are going to be reading a very creepy date experience. Date suddenly says, are you going to follow me in your car? Because that wouldn't make sense. How about we go into my car, but I got packages in the front, so you'll have to squeeze in the bag. And one thing I do like is a creepy experience. I don't know about it. I don't know. Like, I like to read these stories, so like when I'm in the real world, I can like detect if someone's like a creepy person. Let's jump right into the story and see how creepy this goes. So this is from the subreddit r/creepy encounters. It's titled Very Creepy Date Experience. Bam, bam, bam. We all had bad dates, right? Thank God. This is the only date I've had to date that rang every alarm bell and waved every red flag. This is my girl. She talks just like me. Red flags, preface. I love those. I'll preface this by saying I don't go on many dates, but when I do, I make sure I follow safety protocol. Only by meeting my dates in public places, let either family or friends know where I'm going, and park in a populated place close to by where we meet. Don't even get me started with these. Like, I understand those are protocols, which is totally a different note. But see, I never online dated. Let me just get that out there. So I might be a little biased, but I never online date because I feel like those protocols are not even like enough, because the person could still follow you. Or I feel like, well, you might have these precautions for the first 4 dates, but what happens on the 30th date? Then you wonder why you're in a suitcase in the alley somewhere. So I still don't trust it, but let's continue. Sorry. Anyway, this date initially suggested we meet at his house to watch a movie and have a few drinks. And I said, no, I don't feel comfortable with that, and I only wanted to meet in public. He seemed okay with this, but then brought it up a few more times, and I said if money was an issue, we can meet up another time or forget about it altogether. But my date backtracked and went with my idea of meeting at a cafe I chose that I was familiar with and equidistant to where we both live. So she didn't say this, but I'm saying this. That's the first red flag. I feel like, you know, if you set a boundary, like, listen, like, I don't feel safe meeting a stranger in public, in private, and he is like, okay, I'm fine with that, but then he still insists, like, throughout a different conversation and not respecting that boundary, that's my first red flag. Like, my thing is shoot your shot. Try. Hey, honey, you want to come over? We got some drinks? Like, I'm okay with that. But when she goes, no, I'm not comfortable, and within reason, right? She's not being delusional. It's a first date with a stranger. Like, that's within reason why you wouldn't want to go to their house. Anyway, he turns up in a 2-door car. This detail is very relevant, and goes into the cafe, and I follow behind and introduce myself. After a polite introduction, things begin to get weird. See, I'm already weirded by the first interaction of him overstepping her boundaries. But anyway, her first red flag is risen. I order a Coke, and he says, don't you want a drink? I was going to pop into bar, which is connected to the cafe, and get one. I said, no, I'm not drinking, and he looks at me like, what the heck? As if I'm being unreasonable. Remember what I just said about overstepping boundaries, and she's protecting herself within reason. Interesting, right? I already explained in messages I don't drink as I'm on medication, so having to re-explain it again pissed me off. He seems disappointed and goes to order a cider from the bar while I get a table. See, again, he has a problem respecting boundaries. I already see it. Anyway, we sat down with our drinks, and date immediately goes on about going back to his place again, even though the original plan was to stay here and order food, and I already stated that was not happening. I think that's like one of my biggest pet peeves. You guys have no idea. Like, if someone says, listen, no, I don't want to, and you keep pushing, like, to me, that's different than shooting your shot. Like, you're being disrespectful at this point. So I'm low-key slowly getting triggered in here, but I'm trying to keep my composure. He said something along the lines of having a few drinks and eating at his place. And I said, we don't have to eat. We can just have our drinks and leave. He gets defensive and says he has money, but prefers if we go back to his. I make a joke and say, you're not a killer, are you? I don't believe jokes, guys. I'm telling you, I don't believe jokes anymore. I feel like jokes is how you truly feel. She's really saying, like, I think you're a killer. Like, that's what her joke really means. But anyway, and instead of laughing it off, he stares at me uncannily and says,
you don't think I would hurt you, do you?
I think a proper response for, you're not a killer, are you? Is absolutely not. No, I wouldn't hurt a fly. That's a reasonable response to that. Instead, he goes,
you don't think I would hurt you, do you?
He wants to see if he wants to see if she's on to him. That's the way I read into his sentence. I laugh uncomfortably and say, of course not, but really, I'm relieved this date wouldn't be going any further. Date suddenly says, are you going to follow me in your car? Because that wouldn't make sense. How about we go into my car, but I got packages in the front, so you'll have to squeeze in the back, and I'll drop you back to your car after.
Huh?
Wait, I'm confused. Oh, he's still thinking that they're going to go back to his place. No. He reminds me of, let me show you guys. Gigolo Beach. He reminds me of the Gigolo Beach murder, the serial killer, Rex Huberman. So he's recently been arrested and I believe indicted for a few murders in Long Island. Then there was a girl who came out and said literally the same exact thing. It was just very weird how he was trying to get in his car, and this gives me the same exact vibes.
Hey, so y'all asked for my story time about my date with Rex Huberman, the Gilgo Beach killer.
I'm gonna insert the clip in this story, very similar. I'm gonna just cut off to the part that it sounds just like this, and he ends up being a serial killer.
And at the end, he was like, well, do you want to go back to my place? And I was like, I don't know. I'd have to follow you in my car. And he's like, no. Get in my car with me, leave your car here. I was like, I'm not gonna leave my car in a random lot in Port Jeff. And he was like, no, dude, it'll be fine, no big deal, just come with me. And I was like, I don't feel comfortable getting in the car with you alone, I don't know you. And he was like almost agitated and angry that I wouldn't get in the car and go with him. And that made me even more like, I gotta get out of here. So I ended up leaving. Thank God, I trusted my gut. I left after that check came, and I never spoke to the man again.
This gives me the same exact vibes. And it was the same concept. Like, I would drive you back to your car later because there won't be a later. They probably didn't want the surveillance camera of the location see her leaving. This is so creepy. This guy has been trying to get her to his place for the longest. And you didn't clean out your front seat? And then if you have a dirty front seat, you think I want to go to your house? There's so many levels to this. This girl just better run. So anyway, she continues. In reality, this makes less sense than me following him in my own car, then driving home from this house after. I think she meant his house after. The fact is completely illogical, made even more creepy in my mind. Every alarm bell was going off at this point. I said, look, I don't want to go to yours, and your instance is giving me the creeps. Oh my God, she said that? I would never say somebody's giving me the creeps. I give it to her. I love that she's being honest and upfront. I just don't think I could ever tell somebody they're giving me the creeps. Maybe I would. Maybe I'm different now. I don't know. But anyway, the date looks shocked. Mumbles something about needing the toilet and excuse himself from the table. A few moments later, I see him through the cafe window getting into his car and driving off. Thank God. Massive bullet dodged, in my opinion. See, I couldn't let that go. I would think, oh my God, this is why I'm glad I'm in a long-term relationship, because I don't think I could deal with this dating scene. I would have thought at that point that he went to my car, that he probably already researched to know what I drove, and either staking me out to follow me home, or he put a tracker in my car to kill me, because now I just hurt his feelings by calling him a creep. Like, oh my God. Anyway, this is the last part. Also, the fact is, his car didn't have back doors, made it even more sinister, because imagine if something happened in the car and I couldn't escape. Oh my God, I forgot about that part. She is so right. TLDR, creepy date keep wanting me to go back to his house, and when I kept saying no, he finally noped out like the creep he is. I reported him on the dating app. So the top comment says, to me, it sounded like he wanted to go to the bar and get you a drink to spike it. In my opinion, that is why he looked at you funny when you did not order a drink. All right, Jeffrey Dahmer. Also, him leaving after you made it clear you weren't going to his place with him is super sus to me. It's like after he figured out he wasn't going, that things weren't going to his plan, he dipped out. Yes, OP says, yes, exactly. I made damn sure I got my own drink for that reason, and I kept it supervised at all times. Definitely sus, alright? I made sure I reported his profile before he unmatched, which is interesting because I see a lot of these stories that they do that. They like report the profile and it doesn't do anything, you know. Follow up on it. I hate to think a woman that oblige and ends up in trouble. One of the big flags is him acting like he didn't know you didn't drink and taking offense. Like, I think that's just like a predator's go-to, is to make someone uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I think in our society we just always want to be like polite. That's why like he just kept insisting, even though she kept saying no. It's because he wanted her to just be polite and be like, okay, I'll come to your house and get by you. That would have ruined his plan. Everybody pretty much agrees that this guy was a creep, and yeah, I'm glad that girl got out safe as can be. You have to be so safe and cautious on these dating apps because you don't know who you're meeting. I would say naturally, I think they should have like background checks, assuming that they don't. But I'm just hearing way too many stories about things going left, if you know what I mean. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.